Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Build Allure Hills. In this episode we are finally going to start working on the Langley Mountain River Run, the river rapids ride in Pine Valley, the area that we are working on currently. And as you can see on screen, I already did quite a lot of work off camera, especially around the mountain section or the higher part of the rapids ride itself. But we'll take a close look at that in the end of the video where the wheel time part happens, and we'll take a close look at what we did and what I did off camera, of course. So without further ado, sit back, relax, enjoy, and I'll see you in a bit in the time lapse. So as I said in the opening just a second ago, I already did quite a lot of work off camera. So instead of working on the actual ride itself or the theming around it, because it was quite a bit of work, so I prefer doing that off camera. We will be working on the queue this episode. The queue itself was a lot of fun to do. It was actually quite new for me because I didn't do quite a lot of queue work in the game so far, or at least not in the series that I've worked on anyway. So it was quite new and it was a lot of fun to try things out. And what I did for the queue itself, for the layout of it, I looked quite a lot at the real queue for the Grizzly River Run in California Adventure, where this ride is pretty much based on, you can say. So I did quite a lot of research on that and how they make their queues, and especially how Disney overall makes their queues. And it's not really that different from other queues, I believe. It's just theme wise that there is a whole lot more to see, and trying to get as many people in the queue as possible. So that's basically what I did, and what I'm working on right now in the next section of the time lapse is that we were working on the the parts of the queue with a roof on top of it. So this is the second one actually, and this is something which was quite fun to do. Again, I had a lot of fun making this in any way. Also quite a lot of struggles, as you can see, because the hitboxes are a little messed up when you're using the queues with the invisible fences and everything, but it was still fun. So this is the first one. Like I said, it's just a little thing where you can see some theming going on, and then the other one we will do is where the entrance of the ride itself or the queue itself is. But we'll see that in a second. So it's just a little bit of theming around here, and I don't really have a backstory or anything for the ride itself. It's just more like a regular ride in a park, just a fun little rapids, and not really much to it. It's just I had in mind to go somewhere with like with the log flume, or that some people just cut the route on top of the mountain and then the river takes it downstream or anything. But it's more fun making up your own story with this. So I think that's the most fun you can have in a theme park. Just make up your own story with the attractions, and so that's basically what I went for with this, and maybe future rides. You might notice as well, as I continue building, of course, that this episode is a little bit smaller than the previous episodes, and that's because I'm having some struggles with the park. Again, I know I've said this like every episode or something, but it's real this time. I'm having quite a lot of struggles. I've worked on this park for some time now, over a year actually, and the park itself is in development for quite a lot of time, even though you might have not always seen that on YouTube or Twitter or Shy Guys World or anything. And yeah, it's just the park itself and the idea behind it, and it's just bugging me a little bit. And This also has to do with something that has occurred on Shy Guys World previously, where people called me out for stealing someone's work, which was partly true, partly not true. But I won't go too deep into that. But they also said that they want to see more original content, and I've heard this previously as well, and I agree. Most of the things that I build are either recreations or heavily inspired by real life parks or buildings or rides, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's also inspired by things people in Planet Coaster make. There are some builders like Moss Bandit and Seven, Remnant Boy, Lone Wolf. I can name a whole lot. Not all are very known by the YouTube community. I believe, but they are amazing creators, and they were so in Roller Coaster Tycoon as well. And you know, the way I build things is I look at the internet, look for pictures that inspire me, that help me create new things, and those aren't always from real life builds. So, and also from Planet Coaster or Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, like I said. And you know, maybe I took it a bit too far, where I was a little bit too inspired, so to say. And again, I'm not saying I stole it directly, because I built everything from scratch, which you can see mostly in the time lapses. But it was something that occurred to people, and they said, we want to see more original content. And I totally agree, and I think they had the rights, and of course they had the rights to call me out, and they were totally right about it. But they keep bugging with me and this project as well, and it was a bit of I was a bit demotivated by it. So not demotivated by the fact that I don't want to play this game anymore, not in a long shot, but with the spark as a whole. And I think they had some good points where they said, like, okay, we want to see more original content. We want to see what you do, what you can build, and I want to see and explore that myself as well. I just feel that I'm not able to do that in this park, because everything we built so far in the main streets and this area, Pine Valley, it's also pretty much from the real world or something. So, you know, for some reason I'm struggling with continuing this park, because I know myself in the fact that I will, for continuing this area and probably some other areas as well, is that I will probably look to real life builds and maybe even to Planet Coaster builds and just be inspired by that and go on from there. And that's not necessarily what I want with my builds. So I'm still not too sure what I will do. I think I will continue building in the River Hills. I'm just not sure on what basis and how fast I will do that, and either I record it or just show pictures on Shy Guys World or anything. I'm not really sure. I'm already planning something new, which I'm quite excited by. I'm just not sure if that's something I will do in this park or start completely over and do this as a special map, make a special map for it in the scenario editor that we just got last Wednesday. So I'm not really sure what to do with that, and I hope you guys can understand that. Maybe if you have any ideas or feedback on it, let me know down in the comments below, of course. But so yeah, that's just something that's been bugging me, and why content is a little bit sparse at the moment, so to say. You might have noticed this, and I've said this, like I said, in almost every episode, or even maybe on Twitter, that content is really slow at the moment, and I'm not feeling it right now. Maybe it's better to start over. I don't know. Maybe. Well, let me know what you think. Like I said, but on to the time lapse, because it's almost over actually. As you can see, I did quite a lot of work with the entrance. So far, as you can see, this ride has a fast pass ability, which isn't functioning. It's just a nice little touch that I thought, and I'm currently working on a logo. Something that I tried to do was make pedals, which doesn't look good. Let's just be honest. It doesn't look like pedals or anything. But I thought it would be nice to try it at least, and that's what I did. And as you can see, the ride itself is called Langley Mountain River Run. So it's not that original, the name, but it's just a little fun touch, and I'm happy. I'm happy with this logo. Might go in back and delete those pedals and try something else, but it's okay for now, and I'm happy. So yeah, overall, like I said, this queue was really fun for me, and I will definitely go in further. But that's all for the time lapse. Actually, we'll just finish this part up with some more details on the logo, maybe even some more details, but I will see you in a second where we start the real life part, where we take an overview of what I did off camera. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so welcome to the real life part of this video. I'm just gonna show you a quick tour of what we did in the time lapse and what I did off camera. So let's start with the off camera part. As you can see, and as I said, I did quite a lot of on the mountain itself. So we'll start over there. It's not really that interesting or anything. Well, it's interesting, but it's not really that much. So we have the station over here with I had in mind to do a turntable or anything, but I'm not really sure because it's not functioning, and it's very limited space, so I'm not really sure if it's going to work. But so yeah, we have that, and then after that we have a small turn towards the lift hill. Like I said, this is very much inspired by the Grizzly River Run in California Adventure. So that hill is as well, and it just takes you uphill and is themed a little bit. I have some evacuation paths around it, and I will do this around the entire ride, or most part of the ride. So whenever there is like a break or emergency thing or a malfunction or anything, you can get off, which is nice, of course. So I will work on that some more, of course. But then we head up to the mountain, and we have a small drop over there with some water effects around it. You will definitely get soaked on this ride, but with that swiftness rapid ride, I believe. The top itself is just a small top. I think it's the in-game height is 24 meters or something. It's almost as high as the tower of the theater. It's a little bit higher, I believe, but it works out fine, and it gives you some nice views. And I tried to work a little bit with forced perspective. I'm not really sure if that works, but I'm happy with it. So I might do some more details on it. I'm not really sure, but I'm happy with the outcome of it. Maybe do some snow on top or anything, but or some foliage around it. I'm not really sure yet. But yeah, that's all working out. So after you leave the mountain, you go into a slight curve, and then go to the second drop, or the first big drop, so to say. And I added some water effects around it, just to make it a little bit more interesting, and add some more water effects, which are important in my opinion for these types of ride. Then you go into the mountain, and after you leave there, it's just a nice scenic tour in a wild river. You got some nice views actually of the area when you're in the right seats, and I might do a POV of those, or show some pictures, I'm not really sure. So then you go to the final drop, which leads back into the station, of course. So it's just a small ride, and it's not really that big or anything. It's just it was a lot of fun to do, and as you can see, it's very compact. The entire area is actually, and but especially the river rapids is very compact. So it was quite a little bit of a struggle to fit it in, but I think it worked out fine, and it looks pretty cool. So it's very close to Main Street, as you can see, but I think it worked out fine, like I said, and especially this area, very close to the feeder. The foliage around it blocks it off pretty good. You don't actually see much of it, but I think there are enough parts where you can see it, and which will lure the guests to this area. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and I'm very happy with the results. So something else that I did was make this a little bit more nice. This is of course the entrance area of the area, the entrance of Pine Valley, the area. So and of course this is the first ride you will see. So I figured that I could make it like like sort of a balcony sort of thing, or some viewing points, so you can look for your friends or your family who are riding this ride if you aren't. And I will maybe add some like splash points or water machines to do something with that. I don't know yet what to do with it. And as you can see, I also added the food cart we did in the last episode over there. So I might add a vendor near it. Of course, we can now do that with a new vendor, making it stand still. I think Geekism explained it a little bit better, so I might do that. I'm not really sure yet if I'm going to, but yeah, that's basically what I did off camera. Of course, I also started working on the airports. There's not much to see, but I think the new layout that I had in mind will work out much better. So maybe we'll see that in the next episode. I'm not really sure when to work on it. So let's go to the queue that we worked on in the town. As you can see, I did quite a lot off camera again. I finished it up, added a lot of footage around it. But yeah, this is basically the finished results. Like I said in the time lapse, we have the fast pass and the standby entrance. And people can get their fast passes for free if they want in the park by the machines, which I will show in a second. And there's of course the employee to give all the information about that. So very close to the entrance we have of course the fast pass and machines. Like I said, I will add this to the major rides of the park, like the coasters, maybe a dark ride, which I might do. Just the big rides, the more popular rides, like this probably will be, or at least I think it will be. And then of course we have the entrance itself. The first building or first kettle pin is not really that interesting. There's not much to see, and then you just lead up through nature towards the second kettle pen, so to say, and it's much more interesting. There's a bit more to see. And of course you have a nice view of the rapids itself, and then you go back into the rest of the queue, go back to the entrance, and then turn around to the station itself. Like I said, the station isn't I'm not really sure if I'm going to do a turntable or not, or what to do with it, but we'll probably see that sometime soon. So yeah, I'm happy with this, and I might, like I said, I might go back in and change the station a little bit, and therefore change the layout a little bit. I'm just not really sure if I'm going to do that, but overall I'm very happy with this layout, so to say. Like I said, it's very compact, so it was a bit challenging to do, but overall it worked out pretty well, and I'm very happy with the results, especially this mountain side. I will work some more on that and add some more interesting things towards the extension of it. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say for this episode. Thanks again so much for watching. So yeah, like I said, I'm not really sure when the next episode is going to drop. Like I said, I'm having some issues, and if you have anything to say about it, or have some ideas, comments, tips, or anything, let me know down in the comments below. But I'm not really sure when the next episode is going to drop, but yeah, to figure that out, I'll just need some time, and I hope you understand that, and we'll see you when everything drops. If you want to catch up with everything, please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, just to catch everything, and also follow me on Twitter if you haven't already, to catch all the information. I might post some updates on where to go with the Spark and my YouTube channel overall. So yeah, be sure to do that. And that's basically all I have to say. I want to thank you all so much for watching again and giving me all the support lately. But yeah, that's it for now. I want to thank you so much once again, and I hope to see you in the next episodes. Bye bye.